Welcome to Muscles and Magic the Gathering. My name is Bobby Maximus. I am the Muscles. These cards, Magic the Gathering, something that's been a massive passion of mine for 31 years. I started in 1994. I started with Unlimited. You're here because Magic the Gathering is also a passion for you, because you love the game of Commander, the greatest format in Magic the Gathering history. You're here because you love Universes Beyond, Avatar: The Last Airbender, and specifically, you tuned in because you want to know how to build a better Katara Waterbending Master deck. And that's where we're going to start, with Katara Waterbending Master. So let's take a look. It costs only 2 mana, and right off the bat, that makes me thrilled to be able to build this commander. I love commanders with low casting costs. You want to be competitive, you're going to need a low casting cost commander. So here we are. Great start. It's blue, mono blue, so we're building a mono blue deck, and that's never a bad thing either when you want to build a competitive commander deck. Whenever you cast a spell during an opponent's turn, you get an experience counter. Whenever Katara attacks, you may draw a card for each experience counter you have. If you do, discard a card. So looking at this is card draw everything. And when I build commander decks, and listen, I know a thing or two about building commander decks. I currently have 64 full commander decks. I am on a mission to get 100 of every play style, every play type, every kindred folk type. We are on it. But when I go to build a commander deck, I always look at overarching themes. So if I was going to put a Katara Waterbending Master deck together, and I'm going to build a ton of commanders from Avatar, I'm going to focus on things that enable card draw or allow me to have a bunch of cards in my hand. Obviously, with experience counters, I'm going to take advantage of the Proliferate feature. And because I get that trigger when Katara attacks, I want to make sure I'm able to protect Katara at all costs. So those are the 3 categories I'm going to focus on. And there's actually a 4th. I want to be casting a lot of spells during an opponent's turn, so I'm going to flood this deck with instants. This deck is going to be the polar opposite of, say, my Winota Joiner of Forces deck. In a Winota Joiner of Forces deck, you're going to have over 45 creatures. Mine has 48. I've seen people build them with close to 60 creatures, all right? That is creature heavy. This, on the other hand, is going to be instant and control heavy because we want to take advantage of those experience counters. That's going to be our win con. So if I was building this deck right off the bat, and I will feature a couple of creatures in here, but I would probably limit my creatures somewhere between 10 and 12. So there we have Katara Waterbending Master. We'll refer to that again. But the first category we're going to cover off is Commander Protection. And the first one I want to show you is an uncommon. It was featured in Lord of the Rings. It was a reprint. Whisper Silk Cloak. Equipped creature can't be blocked and has Shroud. It's got Equip 2. This is great for Katara because you want to make sure she is going to be vulnerable when she attacks. So you want to make sure she is protected. She can't be blocked. She has Shroud. Whisper Silk Cloak is an incredible choice. Next one up with some little Avatar flavor. The Secret Tunnel. This land can't be blocked. You're going to add a colorless mana to your mana pool, and then you pay for, and 2 target creatures you control that share a creature type can't be blocked this turn. So another way to protect Katara by making her unblockable. In the same vein, you have the Rogue's Passage. You add a colorless mana, and then you pay 4, and target creature can't be blocked this turn. So same kind of thing, just make her unblockable. A Mithril Coat. This is an auto-include. Flash, indestructible. Here's a great thing. Flash, you can cast this on your opponent's turn, so you can get one of those experience counters, and you're going to give Katara indestructible. And when it enters the battlefield, you attach it to target legendary creature you control, so you're not going to have to pay that equip cost, and it's going to give Katara indestructible. The Brotherhood Regalia. Equipped creature has Ward 2, is an assassin in addition to its other types, and can't be blocked, and it's a low equip cost for a legendary creature. So more commander protection. And then, of course, I mean, these are auto includes in almost any deck these days. you're going to put on a Swiftfoot boots, and you're also going to use a lightning greaves. Oh, one more I almost forgot about. Had to pull this from my commander deck, from my commander binder. Aqueous Form. It's a common, but in this deck, it's a great card. Enchanted creature can't be blocked. Whenever enchanted creature attacks, scry 1. So you look at the top of your library, you may put that card on the bottom of your library, and it's only a 1-drop. So another great include for Katara. So all in all, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cards that you can use to protect Katara. That's the first theme, if you will. Second theme, Proliferate. The Flux Channeler. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, proliferate. So you're going to be getting double duty here because you're going to cast a lot of non-creature spells on an opponent's turn. You're going to do that via your instance, and then you're able to proliferate so we can get double the experience counters. So Flux Channeler, auto include. For more of the spark, love that set. Katar's Bastion. You add a colorless mana, and then you pay 4 and you proliferate. And that's great for the experience counters. You ever build a proliferate deck, you are going to need a Katar's Bastion. Thrumming Bird. Flying, which makes it harder to block. And then whenever Thrumming Bird deals combat damage to a player, proliferate. So again, we're just stacking up those experience counters. There's a world we might have 30 or 40 experience counters, and we are just going to run the entire table. We have Skillful, Inquiry Dominus. I have no idea if I said that right, but I love this card. Flying, if you would proliferate twice instead. And then you can remove some counters and make it indestructible with another proliferate tool. And then there's one more card I want to mention that I actually don't have a copy of. I can't believe it. I did it sometime, but I don't have it anymore. And I'm looking off to the side. It's called the Dreamtide Whale. It's got Vanishing 2. This creature enters the battlefield with 2 time counters on it. At the beginning of your upkeep, remove a time counter from it. When the last is removed, sacrifice it. And whenever a player casts their second spell each turn, proliferate. All right? So it's got time counters on it, and it's going to vanish if you're not proliferating. But because you are going to be proliferating, it's probably going to stick around. So the Dreamtide Whale, there are a bunch of great blue proliferate cards. The next category is going to be those instants. And listen, there are a million blue instants you could put in this deck, but I just wanted to show you some of the ones that I play with regularly. Drown in Dreams. It's an instant. Choose one. If you control a commander, you can choose both. Target player draws X cards. That will be me. And then target player mills twice X cards. That will be you. Counter spell, obviously. Spell Pierce. Counter target non-creature spell unless its controller pays 2. An offer you can't refuse. One of the best budget counter spells ever. Counter target non-creature spell. Its controller creates 2 treasure tokens. We have Stifle. Counter target activated or triggered ability. We have Sink into Stupor. It also acts as an MDFC. Return target spell or non-land permanent opponent controls to its owner's hand. We have Arcane Denial. Counter target spell. Its controller may draw up to 2 cards at the beginning of the next turn's upkeep. You draw a card at the beginning of the next turn's upkeep. And then we have Frantic Search. Draw 2 cards, then choose and discard 2 cards. Untap up to 3 lands. And these are all great choices. There's a lot of other choices too. You're obviously going to have probably a Pact of Negation, probably a Fierce Guardianship, probably a Force of Will, especially because it's a mono blue deck. All right. Maybe a Dramatic Reversal. That's another instance. So there's a lot of cards that you can put in here that you can use that are instants. I believe Brainstorm's an instance. So flood the deck with instants. If I was building this deck, I would aim to have somewhere between 30 and 40 instants, maybe. No joke. Like, you are going to have a lot of these. All right. I will purposely try to stay away from sorceries or maybe a couple sorceries in the deck, but I am going to really rely on instants. So I can cast spells on my opponent's turn, and I can trigger Katara. And then the final category is stuff that enables card draw somehow. And I just got this card from my Encyclopedia A to Z, Al Hemmerit's Archive. If you would gain life, you gain twice that much life instead. If you would draw a card, except the first one you draw in each of your draw steps, draw 2 cards instead. Great card for a card draw type deck. Curiosity, it's only costs 1 enchant creature. Whenever an enchanted creature deals damage to an opponent, you may draw a card. Another great way to draw cards. Teferi's Ageless Insight. If you draw a card, except the first one you draw in each of your draw steps, draw 2 cards instead. You're going to draw through your entire deck with this type of play style. Trust me on this. Prof's Eidetic Memory. When Prof's Eidetic Memory enters the battlefield, draw a card. By the way, Murders of Carlo Manor, extremely underrated set. You have no maximum hand size. And at the beginning of combat on your turn, if you draw in more than 1 card this turn, put X 1/1 counter on target creature you control, where X is the number of cards you've drawn this turn, -1. Do you have any idea, if you're able to make this unblockable, how big and bad Katara is going to be? I mean, that's another win condition. Like, she's going to be like a 50-50 at some point in this game. Card draw, win condition. This is going to be one of the creatures that we have. Laboratory Maniac. If you would draw a card while your library has no cards in it, you win the game instead. So definitely get yourself this card, because we're going to draw through our entire deck really, really fast. Teferi, Temporal Pilgrim. Whenever you draw a card, put a loyalty counter on Teferi, Temporal Pilgrim. 0, you draw a card. -2. Create a 2/2 blue spirit creature token with vigilance, and whenever you draw a card, put a 1/1 counter on this creature. This is going to get absolutely massive. And then the final ability, which you're going to get to really, really fast, because you're going to be drawing a lot of cards. Target opponent chooses a permanent they control and returns it to its owner's hand. Then they shuffle each non-land permanent they control into its owner's library. Chasm Skulker. Whenever you draw a card, put a 1/1 counter on it. When it dies, create X 1/1 blue squid creature tokens with Island Walk, where X is the number of 1/1 counters on Chasm Skulker. Again, it's going to be absolutely massive. Teferi, Master of Time. This card is not played enough. It's one of the better planeswalkers, in my opinion. You may activate loyalty abilities to Teferi, Master of Time on any player's turn, anytime you could cast an instant. +1, draw a card, discard a card. -3, target creature you don't control phases out. -10, take 2 extra turns after this one. That is an absolute game ender. Ancient Silver Dragon. You do damage to a player, you roll a d20, you draw that many cards, and you have no maximum hand size for the rest of the game. Speaking of that, Reliquary Tower, auto-include in this deck. Thought Vessel, auto-include in this deck, and also acts as a mana rock. Psychic Corrosion. Whenever you draw a card, each opponent mills 2 cards, and you are going to be drawing a ton of cards. You have this out with Katara. I mean, there's your 3rd win condition. You might mill an opponent to death, all right? 20-toed Toad. Your maximum hand size is 20. Whenever you attack 2 or more creatures, put a 1/1 counter on 20-toed Toad and draw a card. Whenever 20-toed Toad attacks, you win the game if there are 20 or more counters on it, or you have 20 or more cards in hand. Another win condition. Card draw, Mikokoro, Center of the Sea. We have Psychosis Crawler. Psychosis power and toughness are equal to the number of cards in your hand. Whenever you draw a card, each opponent loses a life. If you're drawing 30 or 40 cards with Katara, it's going to be game over. Triskaidekaphile. You know that one was coming. You have no maximum hand size, all right? It's a really low casting cost. And at the beginning of your upkeep, if you have exactly 13 cards in your hand, you win the game. You pay 4 mana, you draw a card. Spellbook, 0 drop and no maximum hand size. Again, you're going to need that in this deck. Body of Knowledge. Body of Knowledge's power toughness are equal to the number of cards in your hand, i.e. it's going to be like a 30-30. You have no maximum hand size. Whenever Body of Knowledge is dealt damage, draw that many cards. And then finally, look at this. Wizard class, all right? You have no maximum hand size. When this class becomes level 2, draw 2 cards. And look at level 3. Whenever you draw a card, put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control. So imagine you've got Katara. You got the wizard class out. I'm looking for it right now. You have the cross-eidetic memory out. You've got, on your Katara, you just overloaded. You got the Whisper Silk Cloak. You got the Miroko. You got the Brotherhood Regalia. You got the Lightning Grace. You are absolutely going to crush your opponent. This commander, there's so many ways to win. Card draw, milling your opponents down. Like I said, turning Katara into a giant water-bending beast, like a 50-50 or a 60-60 with these. This commander is amazing. And I think it's being a little bit overlooked. I think this could be a high-level bracket 4 type commander. Again, it's a super low casting cost. I was lucky enough to pull one of these from a box of Jumpstart, but I really, really want to build it. And if you review a lot of the cards I showed off, and anytime there are card draw type decks, I use a lot of the same cards. Like these are cards that are sleeved. I actually play with them in my deck, but let's take a look here at the build of this deck so far. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39. Man, I just go add like 30 instants to this and then a bunch of lands, and I am going to be rolling with this deck. Actually, the more I talk about it, I am going to build this deck for sure. Love card draw mechanic decks, and I love the play style of this with the experience counters. One of my goals with these 100 decks is to have 100 different style of decks. And I don't know if I have a deck yet with experience counters, so this is going to be absolutely fantastic. Katara, Waterbending Master, one of the best commanders out of the new Avatar set. And that's saying a lot because it is loaded with great commanders. At any rate, subscribe, smash that like button. And I do have an ask. If there are any cards you love for card draw, for milling, for protecting Katara, please put them in the comments below. You'll notice a lot of times when you look at my decks, I put the deck list in the show notes, and I will actually put a deck list to a couple of my card draw decks in these show notes. But you'll notice if you watch a video, by the time you get to the deck list, there's sometimes some changes made, because when you guys make suggestions, I will change my deck. So many brilliant people in the community that I can learn from. So please put those suggestions down so I can improve my decks. We can all have a lot of fun together. And I hope you enjoyed this episode of Muscles and Magic the Gathering.